on their own. Ghost projects. At about the same time, after the 2025 SONA, I also heard for the first time that aside from the 2020-2040 scheme, were flood control projects, ghost projects, for which Engineer Alcantara, Engineer Hernandez, Engineer Mendoza, and Engineer Dumasig were also responsible. These were confirmed later by Secretary Bunaan during a separate legislative hearings. I called up Engineer Alcantara to ask him about these flood control ghost projects. He denied any participation. Subsequently, he likewise told me knowledge nor participation in these flood control ghost projects. Congressman Saldico. My personal knowledge regarding Congressman Saldico are set out as follows. Congressman Saldico one time called me to say that he met Engineer Alcantara and wanted to confirm, maayos bang kausap si Engineer Alcantara? To which I replied, maayos po. Engineer Alcantara then told me that Kong Saldico was asking for a 25% commission, and out of that amount, 2% was to be shared equally between Engineer Alcantara and myself. In his exact words, in this affidavit, I shall mention my personal knowledge regarding Senator Chis Escudero as follows. Maynard Ngu and I are close friends and we go years back to this affidavit as Annex 8. In relation to the commitment, I asked him, Boss, paano to? Maynard replied, bahala ka na. I asked, Boss, okay na ba ang 20%? Maynard said, okay. After inclusion of the projects in Dagaa, I delivered 20% of approximately 800 million or about 160 million to Maynard Ngu, which was meant for Senator Escudero. Finally, I would like to add that there's DEO. I referred to Engineer Bryce Hernandez. I have no personal knowledge if they were able to secure a project in Bulacan First DEO. Furthermore, and subject to possible referral to an executive session upon the approval of the Honorable Chairman, I attest to the broader systemic issues the following. Yusek Trigiv Olaybar of DepEd. Yusek Trigiv Olaybar used to work for Senator Ramon Bong Revilla and Senator Sani Angara before his appointment as Yusek for the Department of Education. Sometime 2010, I met for the first time Yusek Olaybar, who was then working in the office of Senator Bong Revilla. Later, I learned that he transferred supposedly for the office of the Executive Secretary. In the said meeting, he requested me to submit a list of projects. After the meeting, I asked Bulacan First DEO to prepare a list of projects for funding. Thereafter, Engineer Alcantara submitted a list of projects worth 2.85 billion. Here to attach as Annex B is a list of those projects. Subsequently, I submitted this list to Yusek Olivar. Yusek Olivar told me that the commitment is 15%. In his words, Boss, 15 yan. Thereafter, the DPWH received a special allotment release order for 2.85 billion for the projects listed Annex B, in Annex B. Engineer Alcantara, from time to time, would collect and deliver the agreed 15% commitment to me, which I delivered or caused to be delivered to Yusek Olivar in Magallanes, Makati, and other places. Given to me by Engineer Alcantara. Senator Revilla asked for a commitment, which I suggested. Then he approved at 25% of the total amount of, then he approved at 25% of the total amount of the projects indicated in the list here to attach as Annex C. I relayed the 25% commitment to Engineer Alcantara and told him that Senator Revilla will appreciate additional contributions for his senatorial re-election bid. Engineer Senator Nancy Binay. Projects indicated in the list for about 37 million, which was turned over to me, and which I then delivered to Senator Binay at the House in Quezon City. Given my personal knowledge in witness or hope, I will be affixing my signature this day of September 2025 here. Mr. Chair.
Yeah, kindly sign your affidavit in the presence of everybody.
Here, Mr. Chair, I have already signed it.
For the record, you signed the same affidavit that you read, no?
Yes po,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair.
Maraming salamat, Yusek. Secretary Remulla is recognized.
Your Honor, after hearing his affidavit and his willingness to disclose all other details about the transactions that happened under his watch, may I respectfully ask the committee to allow the DOJ to have an evaluation of Mr. Bernardo immediately. This matter has to be done because of the gravity of the situation and the fact that we may have to really work overtime on legal matters that are needed or necessarily
No, not to Yusek Bernardo, but to the Secretary for some clarificatory questions. I mean, to the Secretary of the OJ, not to the FIA. Senator Erwin Tulfo is first on the list. Kindly. But kindly limit your questions to, in the meantime, no, to Secretary Remulla. Mamaya na lang yung kay Undersecretary Bernardo. Meron. Anybody? You have some? We accommodated Alcantara, Engineer Alcantara, to be brought immediately to the DOJ for evaluation for some procedure. Then after that,